All right, everybody, welcome to episode 11 of Hangar 18. And yes, you fucking guessed it, it goes all the way up to 11. So if you don't get that reference, shut this off right now. So there you go.
There's the
all right.
door.
Yeah, right on. So anyway, we were just talking a little bit off air, and I somehow got collared as the Kirk of the Kirk Spock duo of this podcast. So there's that. All right. So anyway,
Fascinating.
Yeah, fascinating. All right. So anyway, this week I decided to go ahead and ask some people who go to my Thundercracker page to give us some songs to review, and they came through like a champ. They actually gave us enough songs for 2 shows, and let's just say that some of their choices were, well, they were not choices that I would have made, to say the least. And I don't think Dreadwind would have made some of these choices either. So I mean, Dreadwind and I we pretty much like mostly agree on what's good. Like if you have like one of those circle graph things, we're like pretty much almost one circle. You know, he's got like some weird shit out to the side there with his fucking ABBA obsession, but other than that, we're good. So anyway, talk about some heavy metal news here, and I'm almost scared that Dreadwind and I got the same news because I know this is like right up his alley. So I chose it because I thought it was a good story. Anyway, apparently they were interviewing Max Cavalera. It's some like weird metal television station or something. I don't know. But anyway, they're interviewing Max Cavalera, and he said, yeah, a reunion of the original Sepultura band members would be awesome. But then he went ahead and shot down that raging Sepultura boner by later saying, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. So, and I guess I learned that I didn't know this because I usually don't like read too much into heavy metal, like lineup changes since they happen so often. But I know there are a lot of people that like my buddy Rob, he definitely like knows like all the ins and outs of lineup changes. But I guess the whole reason why Max left Sepultura was because they fired Max's wife as their manager, I guess. So I didn't know.
Yeah, there was I believe there was a little more to it than that, but it basically boiled down to that because she was their manager and they fired her. So yeah, he left after that.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you gotta like, they fired your wife, man. You gotta leave the band. So
yeah, but it again, there's a little more to the story than just they fired her. There was some
drugs.
I don't know. I don't know the details, but there was some. I don't even know how to say it, but
extracurricular activities.
No, just the way it was done. It wasn't done like it was kind of done behind people's back type of thing.
Oh yeah, I got you right.
You know, that type of thing. It wasn't done up front and say, look, we need to do. You know, they just kind of went behind somebody's back and.
Well, I tell you this though. I mean, like, if I was working in a company and my wife was also working in that company and she was like stealing and like also setting fire to computers at night at that company, so that they would have every reason to like justifiably fire her, I'd still fucking quit if they fire her because you gotta like stick up for your wife. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, that's my news.
And that whole deal, Max and Igor were not on good terms for a long time,
right?
Because of that, because Igor was still in Sepultura for a long time.
Yep, right.
So that took a while to resolve, and now they're together.
Glad it did because they've made some awesome music since.
Absolutely.
So all right, so that's mine. Let's go ahead and by the way, I was just thinking the other day, I was talking to somebody was like, hey, you don't have any like graphics or anything on your podcast. I said, you know what? We don't need any graphics because we have Dreadwind's super deep baritone voice, which is the panty dropper. So fuck
you. You know what? And I just want to add something to this also. Now that I'm glad you brought that up. You know what?
Panty dropper?
We do. Yeah, right. We do this shit live. This is off the cuff. This shit's live. We don't go in and go back and edit and make changes and gussy it up and add these fancy little, pictures. No, this shit, what you're getting is 100% live. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah, it's like raw.
Yeah.
Without the spandex. All right, so what's your heavy metal news there, Dreadwind?
Speaking of reunion or possible reunions, don't hold your breath, but there are talks of a possible Skid Row reunion with Sebastian Bach.
Oh.
But basically, it's gone as far as Sebastian's manager is speaking to Skid Row's manager, and that's about as far as it's gotten to this point.
Oh, so that's one of those things where somebody hears about it and like runs with it, and like really nothing's going on.
Well, no. Well, this is directly from Sebastian Bach. This was in an interview with Sebastian Bach, and he said, "All I can say is my manager is talking to their manager," and that was all he could say about it. So I know he's been up for a reunion for a long time. He's willing to bury the hatchet, and he's like, "You look, we're not getting any younger. Let's get the shit done. That's what the fans want to see." It's pretty much in Dave Sabo's courtyard at this point, and like I said, don't hold your breath, but their managers are speaking at least. So,
you know what? I'd like to see him take Brian Johnson's place in the AC/DC instead of Axl Rose.
That would be interesting. Because
I just hate Axl Rose. I'm sorry, but I hate Axl Rose. And I'm not a really big Skid Row fan either, but I mean, Sebastian Bach, I mean, it's undeniable the guy can sing. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's interesting. All right. Every time I hear that, I always think, your Park Avenue is just Skid Row. That's fucking awesome. That was like a great cover of it right there, wasn't it?
That was spot on, dude.
I know. Fucking Chef Ramsay could have been there like, yeah. All right, let's go. All right. So our first song that we're going to review was suggested by us by Jesus Luna. I'm sure not like Jesus of Nazareth, no relation. But anyway.
Probably Jesus.
Probably, yeah. I'm sure it is Jesus Luna. And the song is called Lamb. The song is called Lamb of God. For fuck's sake. Let's start that one more time. The song is called The Duke by the band Lamb of God. Lamb of God formed in Richmond, Virginia in 1994. This is off the 2016 The Duke EP. And just so you know, this song is about a Lamb of God fan named Wayne Ford who died in 2012 from leukemia. If you want, you can go to propeller.la/Lamb of God and donate to an anti-cancer cause there. And I gotta say, fuck cancer, because I also like have done some American Cancer Society stuff, and cancer has personally touched me in my life, and so I'm not a big fan of cancer at all. So again, like I said, fuck cancer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the song is about mortality. It's like, it basically says, no, everybody's going to die, but some people get taken too quickly. And it has really strong guitar and really strong vocals and really strong drums to the song, I thought. And also, I thought that the song shows the vocal range of Randy Blythe pretty good, because you think of Lamb of God, you think of like, songs like Walk With Me in Hell, where he's like at the super high pitched screech that he does. But in this song, he's actually singing, and he's doing a really good job of it, in my opinion.
Yes.
The solo is really good. I fucking love Lamb of God. Again, fuck cancer. And I'm going to give this song a 10 because I love everything about it. The fact that it's a tribute song against cancer, singing, I just love everything about it. And that's a 10 for me. Go ahead, Dreadwin.
I don't have anything bad to say about this song. It's got a good intro. Like you said, he's got a good voice. It was refreshing to hear him sing like this in a song, because you're so used to hearing, the more aggressive vocals, and for him to, and it's not a, it's, if you've never heard the song before, it's not like a, nothing else matters type of song, Oh
yeah, it's definitely kind of, it's got some part aggressiveness to it.
Yeah, and but he actually sings, and he sounds good when he's singing. And then I really liked the scream he let out, like right when the solo starts. He kind of let out a scream that went with the solo. I thought that was really cool. The solo was good. The overall song structure is pretty basic, but it works for what they're trying to get the message across and all. And the lyrics are outstanding. I give it a 9. It's a great song.
All right, good deal. All right, so our next song here was suggested to us by Injustice for Marcos. And, I don't know too much about Injustice for Marcos. I know he's been around the page for a long time, and I know he's like English as a second language guy. A lot of the people on my page are for some reason. That's weird. But anyway, his song was by the Lost Society, and it's called Kill Those Who Oppose Me, which is a great name for a song. Lost Society formed in Finland in 2010. I was going to put the name of the city, but it's like one of those names like J, A with a mark over it, backwards K, squiggly mark, fucking Norse symbol for bloodlust, chemical symbol for boron. Like, what the fuck is that? So anyway, Finland, which I can pronounce. It's from their album Fast and Loud, which was released in 2013. Here's my first complaint about the song. They had this little mini movie in the first part of the video, and it's 90 seconds long, right? But the whole song is like 3.5 minutes. So, like,
including the video.
Including the video. So, like, you know, that's my gripe. I mean, it was a pretty good thing. Basically, it was almost reminding me of We're Not Gonna Take It, where, you know, where he's like, here's your father's music and turn that shit down, and they blast their own music. But I thought that was pretty good. They had a really thrashy opening. The solo I thought was awesome. I really enjoyed the solo. And again, this was quintessential thrash metal for me. I mean, like, even they're like grungy and in a garage, and have like the fucking some of the same wall hangings on their garage that I have in my garage. So trying to be like me all the way in Finland. Fuck them. All right. So anyway,
you're really big in Europe, aren't you?
I am huge in Europe. So the Lost Society, Kill Those Who Oppose Me. I give it an 8.0. I thought it was good. It's a standard thrash song, so 8.0. Go ahead.
Yeah, the very first right off the bat was the long video intro, which I hate. I cannot stand these, you know, thriller style mini movies that they have to stick in a video before the song. I just want to hear the fucking song. Get on with it.
Right.
Once the song does kick in, though, it's pretty good. The drums kick in. It starts kicking into the thrash. I really dug the guitars. The solo was pretty impressive. Like you said, it's pretty quintessential thrash. I wasn't a huge fan of his singing style. It was okay for this song. If he sings all of his songs this way, it would get old very quickly. So I don't know what their other songs, if he sings that way on those other songs. But other than that, it was short but sweet. 7.5.
7.5. All right. Pretty close again. All right. So now we're going to move on to this next song. And what in the serious depleted uranium fuck? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I asked people for metal songs, and like, I thought there would be like some curveballs, but holy shit. Yeah, this one was suggested to us by Jason Scott Swindle. And it's people with 3 names, right? You can never trust those people, right? Like Lee Harvey Oswald, all those shit, you know? And who was the dude that killed Lincoln? I think he had 3 names too.
Yeah, his name went right out of my head.
Yeah, I can even see him saying Six Semper Tyrannis and dropping off the balcony of Ford's Theater and everything about it but his name. All right, fuck it. That guy.
If we weren't on air, I could tell you.
Yeah, if you weren't on the spot, I'd probably be able to say it too, right? So anyway,
I would have come right out. John Wilkes Booth.
There you go, John Wilkes Booth. Well done. All right. So anyway, Jason Scott Swindle. We went way, way off topic with that. Jason Scott Swindle suggests Baby Metal, Gimme Chocolate. The first time I ever heard about Baby Metal, my buddy Rob, who I call Heavy Metal Rob, he's like, hey man, have you ever heard of Baby Metal? I'm like, is that the one where the chicks put black tape over their boobs? He's like, no, that's something different. So sounds like all excited there for a second. So I went home and I looked it up, and yeah. So anyway, Baby Metal, Gimme Chocolate, off their self-titled debut album, 2014. They were formed in Japan in 2010, which makes me wonder, were they playing like stadiums for 4 years before they finally released an album? That's got to be what it is, because they seem definitely like they're a live band. Because, okay, when the first 2 little Japanese girls start singing, they're like, what? I honestly thought fucking
that was excellent, dude. That was excellent.
Was it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly thought
No,
fucking
not
Mothra was going to come out. Because remember the two little twins that would sing and Mothra would come out and fuck shit up?
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me a lot. Okay. Their little dancing number that they do, and they do that same dance all the time. Because I've seen multiple videos of this Gimme Chocolate song, and they do the exact same dance. So it's, like choreographed into their brain. So, yeah. The music itself is not that bad, although obviously the band is not about music. It's about the stage show and it's about the girls. Because like the band they have kind of hidden in the back, it's like an afterthought. And but the one complaint I have about this song with the music was the keyboards, right? The keyboards I thought were just too much. I mean, I know they're trying to make it like their own thing, but I didn't like the keyboard parts to it. And obviously my biggest complaint about the whole thing is its giant gimmick. I mean, it's gimmick metal. It's all it is, and I don't even know if I'd call it metal. It's just they're trying to put 3 cute Japanese girls out there, and the middle one, granted, she can sing a little bit, but they also in the official video they badly synced up some live footage where it reminded me of like those old kung fu movies where the voices aren't synced up right because she was not synced up. So anyway, not a fan. I gave it a 5.0.
Yeah, it's from Japan. It's Japanese, and
so are we though.
True, but the Japanese, especially recently, have this obsession with mingling really super cute things with other things that are not cute at all.
All right.
And trying to just kind of jam it together. And you get this surge of metal pop is what I call it. Yeah. Japanese metal pop. The music is actually pretty damn good, I thought. The guitar solo I was impressed with. The band itself, which is, like you said, a complete afterthought in this project. The band itself rocks pretty good. I want to know more about them. I want to know who they are. Who are those guys? Because the girls aren't writing the music. It's the band behind them is doing the music. And like you said, it's all gimmick. It's so obviously a record company gimmick-driven band with the 3 cute girls up front. I would like to see the band itself with like an actual adult singer singing, even if it's female and Japanese, that's fine, but actually singing and not doing the cutesy little stuff.
Yeah, right. Like throw OTEP in there.
Yeah,
or Angela Gossow.
Yeah, I really don't know what to make of this because if I was judging it just on the music alone, I'd probably rate it like an 8. But with the gimmick and the girls and just the whole concept of it, I don't like because it's so obviously gimmicky. I guess I'd probably rate it maybe a 5.5, and that's because
you went ahead of me on that one.
Yeah, because I really liked the music. I don't.
You want to watch it again for that dancing?
You know what? You want to see something fucked up? This is when I first heard of baby metal. There's this other band I'm about to tell you about that I had actually heard of first, and that's who I thought it was. If you want to see something fucked up out of Japan, you have been warned. Go to YouTube and search up Lady Baby, Ladybaby, Lady Baby. It's another Japanese metal pop band, kind of like baby metal, and it talk about. Yeah, I'm not even gonna tell you any more about it. It's fucked up. You have been warned.
Bizarre, huh?
Yeah, words cannot describe it.
We probably just doubled their YouTube watch right there.
Probably
from 4 to 8.
Yeah.
All right. So, moving on. And again, we didn't choose these songs. I just want to throw that out there. The next song, Mudvayne, Nothing to Gain. And that's Gein, Gain, right?
Yeah.
And Mudvayne formed in Illinois in 1996. This is off of their album, which I think is their debut album, LD50. Here's the thing. Mudvayne is, it's new metal, right? And somebody told me one time that Machine Head is new metal. I don't know about that. I would call Mudvayne and Slipknot. That's what I would call new metal. Machine Head, not so much. So anyway, this song has a bass breakdown in it, which is weird. It's
got a lot of weird breakdowns.
Yeah, it's about Ed Gein, right? Who's the serial killer from Wisconsin. There, a lot of stuff got spawned off of Ed Gein, like Norman Bates was kind of based on Ed Gein a little bit because
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Michael Myers a little bit too.
Yeah.
So anyway, so talking about his body trophies that he took. The screaming for me was too repetitive in this. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of screaming singing. I'm a big fan of this is one of those spots where the circle of me and Dreadwind, are disparate. Where I like more of the screaming and Dreadwind likes, more of the actual singing. Yeah. So the outro was too long, and then it just suddenly stops.
Yeah.
This one was suggested to us by Josh Elmore. So Josh Elmore, his suggestion of Mudvayne, Nothing to Gain, is going to garner a 5.5 from me. Not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, Mudvayne, they came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, so they kind of, especially this album, really falls into that new metal area, kind of like you were talking about, kind of like
Slipknot.
I was gonna say like Korn and Cold Chamber.
Yep.
Stuff like that. It kicked in okay, but then it went to this weird funky funk thing going on.
Right.
That was just totally weird. The song jumped around a lot like that. I kind of like Mudvayne in general. I have their album, I think it's the album after this one, The End of All Things to Come.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually like that album. I think that's a really good album. It's put together
Is
really
World
well.
So Cold on that album?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've actually listened to it. But anyway, that's an album I actually like. This song I didn't really care for that much. The ranting vocals, like you said at the end, where he just kind of goes off on this ranting, screaming triad, was way too long. They could have cut that off by a minute and a half. That was just enough already. And the singer in this song, he sounds like he's really trying to sound like Jonathan Davis from Korn.
Yeah, a little bit. Doesn't this guy also sing for Hell Yeah?
Yeah, he's in Hell Yeah now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.
6.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it too much. Like I said, I like the album after this one. This one, not so much.
So anyway, the reason why I mentioned World So Cold a minute ago is because I used to work at this job, and there was a guy there who worked on my production crew. He was actually the crew leader of the production crew. His name was Mike Springer. Super great guy, right? And sometimes I would come in there and I would have forgotten my lunch or something like that. And his mom always made sure that he brought in a whole bunch of lunch or whatever. So he'd always share with me when I didn't have anything to eat, which I always thought was a super nice thing. Anyway, and he was only maybe, I don't know, 26, 27 at the time. And he got this new crotch rocket motorcycle, right? He loved it. He was always talking about it. He's always taking people out there to show it to people. Anyway, he drove it to go get cigarettes on break during lunch, and he got killed. Somebody was made a U-turn across traffic, and he ran into him because he had no time to stop. So and the reason why that relates to World So Cold and Mudvayne is because that was his favorite song. It was right around that time that happened, and he would always crank that song way up when we were working. So every time I hear World So Cold, I instantly think of Mike Springer. And
that is that album, by the way. I just looked.
Is it okay? Yeah, because I think that one has Silence on it too, and
Yeah, Silence, Trapped in the Wake of a Dream, Perversion of a Truth, Not Falling, World So Cold. Yeah, it's a good album. I like that one.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, and I know that's like maybe off topic. Like I said, every time I hear World So Cold, I instantly think of Mike Springer, or Slike, as everybody called him. And I actually went to his funeral, and like this little kid was like, he's like, hey, everybody would always pick on me, and nobody would ever hang out with me. So Mike took it upon himself to come over and play video games with me all the time. Which Mike wasn't even related to the kid or nothing. He just like saw a little kid and it was sad, so he decided to do something about it. So that's a fucking good person right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, let's get off that fucking like downer strip there. All right, our next song was suggested to us by Tammy. This has two I's, Tamii. So I think it's Tammy, and it's
Tamai.
Yeah, grow. I don't know, because like when you have like 14 vowels in a row, that's something like Louisiana people do. Like 14 vowels and then an X. So
yeah,
I don't know what that's all about, but it's grow or groux or I don't know what.
Go, probably.
So anyway, her song, Halford, Made in Hell, right? Now, Rob Halford, first of all, I'm not that big of a Judas Priest fan, but Rob Halford is undeniably one of the gods in the pantheon of metal. I mean, his influence is like pretty far reaching. In fact, to relate it to a song that we did earlier, I actually saw Baby Metal doing a cover of Breaking the Law with Rob Halford. And another one, like what's his other like big, huge, popular one?
Oh, there's so many. Living After Midnight?
No.
No. Electric Eye?
No.
Way
more mainstream and popular, like on the level of Breaking the Law.
Breaking the Law, there's Headed Out to the Highway. Living After Midnight
I've never heard of.
Living After Midnight was...
No, Living After Midnight I've heard of, but it was another one of his main songs, but they did that and Breaking the Law cover with Baby Metal. No, just him and then Baby Metal. So anyway, this song is called Halford, the band, was formed in Phoenix, Arizona in 1996.
Turbo Lover, maybe?
Nope. That's going to bother you.
You've got another thing coming.
That might have been what it was.
I bet you that's it.
Anyway, this is off their album Resurrection, which came out in 2000. Which it's really weird when like you have like these people that have been around forever, and then they have an album that was released in 2000. So I don't know. That's to me, that's sometimes weird. Like, hey, here's a brand new Black Sabbath CD. What? Like 50 years after their first one. It just seems weird. All right, so the opening solo was great. I just wanted to say that at one point, I'm pretty sure they're talking about Black Sabbath, the very opening lines, when he says, "From memories of '68, when the wizard shook the world, metal came from foundries where the Midland sounds unfurled," right? And The Wizard is a song off the Black Sabbath debut album, which happened to debut in 1968. So I think he's talking about Black Sabbath there.
Well, the album, I think, was actually 1970, but the band was...
got together in 68, right. You're right.
68,
You're right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I think he's talking about Black Sabbath there, which I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The guitars were pretty goddamn good throughout the song. I mean, like, just amazing guitars throughout the song. Mm-hmm. And then they never let up. It was just like a constant guitar orgy. The second solo was awesome. The first solo was great. It almost seems like he was talking about like, hey, as a kid, I heard this music, and then I started to get into it, and now I'm in a band, and now I'm touring the world. That's kind of like what I took from the song. Mm-hmm. Perfect length, like a little bit over 4 minutes. Perfect length for a metal song. I really liked it. And I'm not even really a big Rob Halford fan, but I give it an 8.5. Go ahead, Reverend.
Cool. Yeah, Halford, of course, made his mark in Judas Priest, and then when he left Judas Priest, he tried a few other things. And just a quick little side note, we've talked about John 5 before.
Uh-huh.
And the first time I actually heard John 5 was when Halford did a solo project prior to this one called 2. And John 5, who was going just by his normal name, John Lowry at the time, was his guitar player for that album. And that album sounds nothing like what you would expect from Halford.
Wow.
He sings like a completely different singing style on that one. He took a totally different approach on that album. And
so like 40 octaves lower?
No, it's actually kind of a higher nasally.
What? Higher than normal for Halford?
It's hard to describe. He just sings differently. And it's a much more I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't sound anything like Judas Priest. Nothing like Judas Priest. Very experimental album, I guess you could say. But that's where I first heard John 5 from. And after that, go ahead.
I want to interrupt you real quick. Painkiller was the name of their song Baby Metal did with Rob Halford. Go ahead.
Okay, Painkiller. Okay. So after that project, he went back to, I guess, kind of back to his roots and did this solo project here, just called Halford.
Yeah, Halford definitely sounds like Judas Priest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is very Priest sounding, very Judas Priest feel to it. Kind of sounds like your typical Judas Priest song. The guitars, I thought the guitar was, and I don't know if it was the recording or the production or what, but the rhythm guitars did sound a little muddy to me. They were good. They just the quality of the recording, they sounded a little muddy. But the guitar intro was great. The solos were great. I really liked it. I give it an 8 overall.
All right.
If you like Judas Priest, you'll like this. It's good.
I thought you were going to get a little bit higher than that. Unlike Dreadwind, surprisingly.
It sounds so much like a typical Judas Priest song. At the same time, it didn't jump out. It doesn't sound like one of their hits. It just sounds like a typical Judas Priest song. You know what I mean?
I was expecting like a fucking demon on like a big motorcycle with a saw blade as the fucking wheels.
Yeah.
All right. It's like that. I like I just got excited. You about something. You're like, yeah, okay. Whatever you say.
Fascinating.
All right, Spock. All right. So the next song, and here's where the Legion of Thunder maybe redeemed themselves a little bit. All right.
God damn it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Hangar 18. Right. Megadeth. Mm-hmm. Megadeth formed in 1983 in Los Angeles, California. This is off their Rust in Peace album, put out in 1990. And if you don't have the Rust in Peace album, go out and get it because it's awesome. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. This one was suggested to us by, I'm not trusting my handwriting here, Jason Shulko. And
yeah, and I'll just interject here. I was gonna save this particular song for episode 18.
See that? Okay.
Because it was just too fucking perfect, and yeah, thanks for fucking that up.
Yeah, thanks, Jason Shulko. All right, so that must have been what you were having a conniption about a minute ago. All right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I thought that you'd like drop something on your foot or something.
No, I was just
Okay, so full disclosure. Colossal Megadeth fan here, right? And I'm pretty sure that Dreadwind is too. So I'm going to just say some like lavish praise for this song right now. Brilliant opening. Solos, brilliant. Rhythm section, awesome. Subject matter, awesome. Amazing ending. And here's the thing. I grew up in a town about 35 minutes north of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is, from what I understand, where Hangar 18 is located. So I grew up on stories of like Hangar 18 and how they moved the Roswell aliens out there and all that shit. So this song holds like some special significance for me. And there's a reason why this fucking podcast is called Hangar 18. Well, a couple of reasons. One is, we do a little bit of thing where we're, giant transforming jets, but also because Hangar 18 is a fucking amazing song by an amazing band. So I give this a 10. Dreadwind.
This song is legendary. I mean, there's no other way to say that.
Agreed.
The drums are amazing. The guitars are clear. All the solos are perfect. The lyrics are minimal, which I want to point this out here. You can usually spot a good singer when they're singing and writing lyrics. They leave space for the music to
tell the story. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you can sometimes spot bands with an actual lead singer as opposed to a guitar player that also sings, because the lead singer will try to sing over everything until the solo and then sing over everything again. You know what I mean? Yep, and they don't give the riffs a chance to stand on their own. Right. Whereas, like a lot of Metallica and Megadeth, you'll have those spaces in between the lyrics where it's just the music that's speaking to you by itself,
Good point.
This song, he keeps his lyrics to a minimum, and there's only 2 verses, and then
one so chorus. Yep.
Yeah, and then everything is the music. And the other thing too is the work of the 2 guitar players off of each other, Dave Mustaine and Marty Friedman, working off of each other with 2 very different styles of soloing, works so well together. If it's one guy playing all the solos all the way through, it doesn't work. The song doesn't work. Having those 2 guys work off of each other, and having those 2 contrasting styles going back and forth, especially at the end where it's like a guitar duel.
Yeah, it's like almost like dueling guitar. Yeah, yep.
That's what makes this song work so well, and it's why it's such a perfect song. This is required listening. If you're a metalhead, I don't care how old you are, 5, 15, 50, if you just started listening to metal and you haven't heard this yet, go listen to it. It's required listening for any metalhead. It's a fucking 10.
Awesome. All right, 2 10s. That doesn't really surprise me though. I kind of knew that was going to happen. All right, here we go again with a redemption for baby metal. Black Sabbath, War Pigs. This one was suggested to us by Philip Mordica, longtime Page fan, awesome guy. Like the Dreadmore was saying a minute ago, formed in 1968 in Birmingham, England. It's from their sophomore album, Paranoid, and possibly one of the greatest live songs ever in history. Because as soon as that fucking first riff goes and the air raid siren goes off, everybody knows what it is, and everybody starts the clapping thing, and
you get goosebumps.
Right. It's signature guitar riff plus the bass plus the air raid siren. I mean, everybody knows what that's going to be. Brilliant lyrics, brilliant vocals. The whole thing is about basically like classes of people, and like the political class telling the lower classes to do their bidding for their own gain. It's kind of what it's about. The drums are amazing in it. Bill Ward does some amazing drum work in this, and you can tell still his jazz drumming upbringing in this and parts of it. Mm-hmm. Has a really groovy breakdown. The instrumental portion reminds me a lot. Every time I hear it, I always think of Lord of the Flies. Every time I hear that instrumental portion. And the ending to the song is also just fucking unbelievable. Probably one of my favorite songs. It's probably easily in my top 25 songs of all time. I'm going to give this a 10 because it's fucking Sabbath and it's awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, we actually reviewed this song a few shows back, but it was the live version.
Right.
And we were really reviewing the performance more than the song itself.
Right.
So in this one, yeah, this is classic Black Sabbath. I mean, Paranoid and the following album, Masters of Reality, those 2 albums are classic Blacks. That's where Sabbath really found their sound and their groove,
Right.
And those 2 albums are the foundation for all heavy metal, in my opinion.
I agree.
This one, Geezer on bass guitar really carries the rhythm in between Tony's riffs, which I feel are timed out perfectly, especially in the intro, where he's holding those notes.
Yep.
And they ring out just long enough, and yet underneath it you have Geezer with the bass carrying the rhythm underneath it.
Yep.
And then it's perfectly timed out. And then it stops, and it's just cymbals and Ozzy. Yep. And that's all you hear. And it makes the verse so much more powerful.
Yep.
Because everything else is, all your distractions are taken away, and you're just hearing Ozzy singing
about the generals. Yep.
Yeah. And then it kicks into a groove, and Sabbath can groove like no one else can, They do a great job in this particular song with the use of contrasting sounds, going from low to high, the stops, the quiet parts, followed by the big epic, thundering guitars that jump in all of a sudden. It's a very dynamic song. They do a great job of using the dynamics of music in this song, which brings out all the parts. Again, this is required listening. It's a 10. It's Black Sabbath.
All right. I kind of knew that was going to happen too. All right. Our next song was suggested to us by Luke Alexander Barron. And maybe I'm going to go ahead and give people with three names a little bit of a break because this one's not that bad. It's by a band called Death Clock, which is the cartoon animated band from 2006's Metalocalypse. And this is from the Death album, which is their debut album. And basically, it's like fucking evil Little Mermaid, right? So,
right.
So it's got these like mermaids versus these crab people. And the first off, I love it when they go through their checklist. They're like, you got knife, check. Fucking saw, check. Yeah, that's so awesome, right? The animation is great on it. I mean, it's got mermaids fighting crab people. They go and they like fucking kill the crab people's eggs and shit too.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty evil right there.
Cutting bodies in half and hacking off.
Right, cutting bodies in half, right? So, and basically, if you take away everything, I love the chorus of the song too, where he's like, "Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it." I like that part right there. And basically, if you take away all like the extraneous stuff, it gives a pretty good message about like where, you know, if you have two clans or two groups of people that are at war with each other, you know, the revenge is going to spawn revenge, which is going to spawn revenge, which is going to spawn revenge, right? I think they're actually making a statement there, but they're doing it like in a funny, not like preaching manner, which I think is great. I give it an 8. I give it an 8.5.
That's pretty deep.
I know, isn't it? Did you pick up on that?
A little bit, yeah.
You liar. That's my fucking Kurt Powers right there. Kurt chopped the shit out of that.
Well, first of all, I had to log in, sign in to actually watch the video. So, I guess because of the explicit content.
Oh, really? I think I'm or it's like constantly logged in.
Yeah, I said, you must log in to watch this video. Anyway, it's brutal.
With 2 O's.
Brutal. Yeah, the solo I thought was pretty sweet. It's basically about, like you said, homicidal mermaids. The chorus, I liked the chorus, but he does get a little more guttural than what I tend to prefer in vocals when I'm listening to songs normally. However, considering this is Death Clock and it's meant to be a parody in a way, it works and it fits as it's kind of part of their shtick. So I was fine with it. And like you, I love the checklist. That was probably my favorite part. Was all the different checklists I did. I gave it an 8.5 too. I really liked it.
All right. Cool. Fuck yeah, Death Clock. All right.
Yeah.
Our next song might take us down from the high a little bit. It's by a band called Trivium, and this was suggested to us by Rob Miller. The song was called Silence in the Snow. Trivium was formed in Orlando, Florida in 2004, America's Penis. It's the title track of their 2015 release. It's got a pretty epic opening, but like I was watching the video and I kept being distracted because like I don't know if it was the rhythm guitarist or the main guitarist, but he had a blindfold on and that was distracting me for some reason. I'm not a fan of the vocal style that this guy uses because it's just that like opera type singing that I'm not a fan of. The solo was pretty decent, but it was too short.
Opera singer?
It kind of sounds he's not like an opera singer, obviously, but it's operatic. I would say it's more operatic than, say, Jamie Josta or Max Cavalera.
Yeah, but that's just called singing.
Nah, fuck that opera singer. All right. Anyway, and furthermore about the singer, he looks like Opie from Mayberry fucked Kirk Hammett, and that was their love child. That's all I got to say about it. I give it a 6.5. Dreadwind, go.
All right, so that's wrong. Yeah, it has a big epic intro. It's got a heavy rhythm. Got good guitar work. The bridge section where it changed up, I thought was pretty cool. I like that. They're one of the bands that uses 7-string guitars, which I'm a fan of most of the time. I thought the solo was really good. And unlike my stabby face blue companion here, I actually liked the singer. I thought he did a pretty good job singing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I really like this song. I liked it a lot. I actually want to hear more from this one. I give this one a 9.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
All right. So that was wrong. So let's go into our final band here, and this one was suggested to us by Christopher E. Rivers, and it is Diamond Head, and the song is called "Am I Evil?" And here's the thing: I heard the cover song of this way before I heard the regular song of this, because of course Metallica covers this. And in fact, Metallica covers 5 different Diamond Head songs. And that is a pretty strong statement about the band Diamond Head.
Mm-hmm.
Formed in Stourbridge, England in 1976. This is off their Lightning to the Nations from 1980. And shortly, 3 years later, Kill 'Em All comes out. And I believe Am I Evil is on Kill 'Em All, some of the versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kill 'Em All, or it's on Am I Evil, and also Blitzkrieg, I think, is on the special version.
Yes, which I had, and
I have an album of it.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, I have an album of it. My only problem with it is that somebody decided to take white out and put like a dot of white out on the cover of the album, which makes me pissed off because it can't be removed without fucking up the album itself. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, instantly recognizable opening riff. I mean, as soon as you hear that, you know it's Am I Evil. Immediately. If you're any kind of metalhead worth their salt at all, you know fucking Am I Evil opening riff. Fantastic solos. Just fantastic solos. The main riff is the most... I would put the main riff like right up there with the Black Sabbath self-titled song main riff as far as evilness goes. I mean, it's just evil as fuck.
Yep.
The drums in this particular mix that I listened to, I thought maybe were just a little bit too soft, and that would be my only complaint about this. The tempo change in this song is fucking legendary, right? Like when they go to the faster part, it's just an amazing song, and I understand why Metallica covered it because it's fucking awesome. And I'm gushing about it, I know, but fuck, I like it. I'm giving it a 10.
Okay. This is a classic, another classic. Almost required listening song. Like you, I heard Metallica's cover first, and then when I found out who the band was, I like instantly started looking for actual Diamond Head CD and found one. So I actually have the CD release of this.
No, I have a CD where it's called Covering Them, and basically it has a whole bunch of like the Metallica covers by their original band. That's where I have it.
Okay, now I have the actual Diamond Head album.
Okay.
On CD somewheres, and so it's got it's a little bit different mix than this one though. So I'm not sure which release this one was off of, but anyway, that aside, the intro has almost got a Sabbath feel to it. The dun, da, 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 and like you said, the kind of that evil guitar doom. It's that was bad, but anyway.
There's our skill at pantomiming guitars again.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm talking about. So this, Sean Harris and Brian Tatler. Tatler's the guitar player, Sean Harris the singer. They were a big influence not only on Metallica but specifically Dave Mustaine. Huge influence on Dave Mustaine. And a little side note here: Dave Mustaine, when he formed Megadeth, actually tried to get Sean Harris to be his singer.
Oh, nice.
Because Dave didn't want, like James, Dave didn't want to be the singer. He just wanted to be the guitar player, and he was looking for a singer. He tried to get Sean Harris. Whatever reason didn't work out, and then Dave ended up doing vocals.
Now, Diamond Head, they are NWOBHM, right?
Yes, New Wave of British Heavy Metal. And this album was actually, it came out in 80, but it was actually recorded in 79.
Okay.
And they... another side note, this album was recorded in like 7 days.
That is impressive.
Which is insane.
That's impressive. Even if they just recorded this one song in 7 days, that would be impressive.
Yes. And
it's almost like the Paranoid story. It's another fucking Black Sabbath throwback. Go ahead.
Yeah. And they had trouble getting a record contract, and they ended up releasing it in 1980 just on their own initially, and then it got picked up later. But that's the story on that. This is very thrash, like you said, that change up. You can really feel the thrash influence. And if you listen to, every time I sit down and I do listen to the Diamond Head album, in almost every song, there's a riff or a guitar part that I can pick out and go, oh my God, that sounds just like something Dave Mustaine would do.
Yep.
You know, you can hear the influence directly. And the solos are, like you said, outstanding, especially for that time. 79, doing guitar solos and guitar work like this. I mean, this is stuff that guys were doing, you know, 6, 7, 8 years later.
Right. Yep.
I give this a 9.5 only because I actually like the Metallica version better than this version.
All right. Okay. Well, that wraps up our reviews of songs. Now we're going to kick into our final little module where we talk about concert experiences. And I'm going to go first because I'm awesome. And I'm going to talk about an Ozfest that I went to. And this particular Ozfest was in the middle of the summer, as they are prone to be. And I believe it was 98 degrees outside during this Ozfest.
This is starting to sound a lot like my Ozfest story from last
but
week.
this one's not quite as good. But
okay.
So 98 degrees outside, and which is hot. And so I decided to go ahead and watch Hatebreed on the second stage. Now, the second stage, Germain Amphitheater, which is where this was, which no longer exists, by the way. Second stage of Germain Amphitheater, it's just blacktop, and then they have a stage there, right? So guess how much fun it is standing on blacktop in a black shirt and jeans at 98 degrees with a bunch of people around you. Not very fun, right? So my buddy, who is like a 6'3" guy who looks like he wants to murder people all the time, and that's just his natural looking face, kind of like my dad. But anyway, he was like, no, I don't think I'm going to sit this one out. And that was probably the wise choice. But I decided, nah, fuck this. It's Hatebreed. I'm going to go out there and fuck shit up, right? So I get out there. I'm in the mosh pit. I'm just thrashing around, bouncing around. There's this big fat dude that had a Stars and Bars tattoo on his arm, which I could see because he was wearing a wife beater for some reason. Probably smartly because it was so hot. But anyway, we're bouncing around. And so I was okay during the whole Hatebreed set, right? So I get out of there. And I'm walking along with my buddy back to the main stage. And all of a sudden, right, like my vision just starts to like go gray and like fucking start to narrow into like a tunnel. I'm like, hey, and I told him about it. I was like, that's not normal, is it? He's like, no. He's like, that means you're going to go into heat stroke. I'm like, oh. So what I did was I basically went up to this water fountain, and it was like a line, so I had to wait where I was dying. Wait to get to the water fountain. I drank a whole bunch of water, and then I went and sat in the shade for maybe 5 minutes, and I was okay. But there you go. That's the cost of fucking being a metalhead. Sometimes you almost have to die for metal. Yeah, that's my story.
And I understand. The black concert shirts is like standard garb for metal, but there is the occasion where having a white metal shirt is handy, and that would be one of those instances.
Yep, I have actually a white Metallica shirt. It's the one shirt that has like a little guy with his arms and shit chopped off.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking sometimes maybe I should wear that one.
Yeah.
All right, that's mine. Go ahead, Dreadwind.
Okay, let me take you back a ways to my high school days. I just started learning how to play guitar. I was still in high school at the time, and I was big Ibanez fan. I had the catalog. See, way back in the day, folks, we didn't have the internet where we could get on and Google stuff up and look up whatever we wanted to look up at the touch of our fingers. And instead of using that, go to Facebook and ask the same question and have 20 people answer you. But I digress. Back in the day, we had these things called catalogs.
Made out of paper, even.
Made out of paper, and they had pictures and information printed on them. And you would go to the store and get the catalog and flip through the catalog. And, hey, cool, look what they have. So I had my Ibanez catalog and looking through all the Ibanez guitars. And being a big Megadeth fan, Dave Mustaine fan, I love the Flying V's. That's like standard metal issue guitar, right? Well, at that time, Ibanez did not make a Flying V. It was not in the catalog. So I was like, well, crap, I really want an Ibanez, but I really want a Flying V, but they don't make one. Shit. So whatever. So anyway, there's a point to that. I'll get to later. So, so we end up going to this local concert. They called it a rockathon, and it was just a big group of local bands that were playing. It was on a Saturday. It was an all day thing. It was at this old closed down skate rink, and I think it started like maybe 1 or 2 in the afternoon and went until probably 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So bunch of bands, all local bands, bunch of bands that were playing. The big draw was the headlining band, the last band to play, which was Acid Bath.
All right.
Acid Bath was a local band for me. I grew up where they're from. So I had not yet seen them. I had heard about them, but I hadn't seen them yet at this point. So I really wanted to go see them. So I went to this thing, and when you first walk in, you give them their ticket, and they're having a drawing for a free guitar, and it happens to be an Ibanez. I'm like, sweet, because all I had was my junk crap guitar, my first guitar that was a piece of shit. So I was like, I want that. So I signed up, of course, for the drawing. And about halfway through the show, they do the drawing, they pull out the number, right? So they pull out the number, and it's literally one number off of my ticket.
Oh, God damn it.
And whoever had that number didn't show up. They weren't there. It's like, well, shit. All right, well, we're going to pull another number. So they pull another number, and of course, it's something completely different. But this time, the person who won was a girl who was probably 13, maybe. And it was an all-ages show. And she walked up there. He almost pulled another number because she took so long to get up there. And she acted like, what the hell am I going to do with this? I don't want this. I'm like, bitch. Ungrateful bitch.
Don't you hate people like that?
Yeah, winning a guitar when someone like me, really could have used it. But whatever. So
you're not bitter about that at all, are you?
No, not at all. That's only been, I'm not counting how many years. But anyway.
Long time.
Too long. Yeah. So then Acid Bath gets on stage, right? And this is what we've been waiting for. And I'm like literally 3 feet away from Audie, their bass player. Rest in peace, by the way. Right up against the stage, and they get up, and they're doing they're tuning everything up, right? And on the other side of the stage is where Sammy's at. And at that time, Sammy was playing a lot of Flying V's. He pulls out this one Flying V, and I kind of looked at it, and then I saw the headstock, and I was like, oh my God, that's a fucking Ibanez Flying V. Sure enough, it was an older model that they didn't make anymore. And I was all impressed and I had to have one. So I went out, started looking for one at that point, and I eventually found one later on in a pawn shop a few years later. But that was my first experience with that. And then Acid Bath just kicked ass. They came on stage and they were awesome. So that was right before they even had their album out. All they had at the time was the demo tape. So I think they might have just signed the record contract, I think. But they hadn't recorded the album yet. So yeah. Cool show.
All right. So that wraps it up for this edition of Hangar 18, the fan version part 1. Next week we're gonna do the fan version part 2, and I haven't really looked at the songs on there yet, so I hope there's some good ones.
Part 2.
Part 2. That's another fucking southern, fucking 18 vowels and an X in a row. So
we should get le deux on part 2.
Yeah, le deux on part 2. Yeah, right. I'm gonna have to wash my face out with acid or something after that. So anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to the Legion of Thunder for making the song suggestions, except for the guy with the baby metal fucking suggestion and the Mudvayne suggestion. Fuck that shit. So anyway, yeah, horns up, fucking stay metal. Go ahead, Dreadwind.
Stay metal. Catch you next week.
All right, see you next week.